Now we've come to week 3, the promise of prayer. And as you dig deep into the scripture this week, as you do the daily lessons or whatever your rhythm is for doing your study, really take the time, because God has a lot to show you this week about the promise of prayer. And you're going to continue to understand about the vision that God has put in your life about your situation. It looks different when God describes it than when you describe it. So God is giving you vision. He's impregnating you with a promise. And then He's going to show you how to give birth to that promise. But it continues to be important, the point of view and the way you see your circumstances. That's going to change everything. I illustrate it like this. 3rd chapter of John, Jesus has this conversation with Nicodemus. He says to Nicodemus, now the Spirit is like the wind. You don't know where it came from. You don't know where it's going. The only evidence of wind is its effects. Now, imagine with me that someone decided he did not believe in wind. Wind? I don't know where it came from. I don't know where it's going. I don't think there's wind. Now that person would begin to have a very skewed view of reality, because that person would believe, for example, that trees sometimes bend over all by themselves. Or that person would believe that leaves lying quietly on the ground sometimes jump up and twirl around. That person would be ascribing power where there is no power. That person would not understand that tree and leaves are responding to power acting on them. So a person who believes in the wind and a person who doesn't believe in the wind will look at the same scene and see 2 different realities. One will see the wind blowing and the other will see a tree bending over. When you begin to walk in God's vision, when you begin to take your focus off of what you can see with these eyes and put it on what you can see with these eyes, you are always going to see the wind blowing, and the scene is going to look entirely different to you. In the promise of prayer is that God is working out everything He has promised you will do. I need to say that again. The promise of prayer is that God is working out everything He has promised He will do. He will not leave one thing unfinished. He will never start a project and not complete it. He promises, but He pulls you into His vision and calls you to begin to exercise faith. Live in a faith lab. Do the things He's calling you to do and see how faith and promise combine to bring into the circumstances of earth the very power and provision of God. For some of you right now, the pain in your life is not really your own pain, it's the pain of someone you love, and wow, that's the worst pain of all. There are so many things in my life where I get it. I can deal with the pain. I have lived long enough to see that God uses pain redemptively in my life, but don't hurt my kids. Don't make my kids have to walk that path. Don't make the people I love have to walk that path. So it's a whole new dimension of understanding trust when not only can you turn your own life over to Him, but you can turn the lives of your loved ones over to Him, and that's the bigger challenge. But God is faithful, just like He's done in your life, where He has used that pain to build you and to take you deeper and to make you something you could never have been without it. He will do that in the lives of the people you love. But I understand that in this adversity, for some of you, probably for many of you, that's your adversity. It's the pain of somebody that you love. God is faithful. God is faithful. And He is going to use that pain to bring them into a fullness they couldn't know any other way. And they are not going to experience any more pain than is necessary to God's redemptive, loving, productive work in their lives. And in the process of prayer, as you watch with new eyes, as you look from a new vantage point, you're going to see God working in the lives of the ones you love whose pain is your pain.